Right now, a riverfront development proposal in Janesville is stopped in its tracks. We'll tell you what happened and see what the future may hold for that piece of land.
And a large response for a fire along Main Street in the village of Oregon. We will have the latest.
Plus, the Bucks try to take a 2-0 lead on the Toronto Raptors before that series heads north of the border. We'll have the highlights from Fiserv Forum just ahead.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
And thanks for joining us. The weather continues to play a big role tonight, and it will continue to be a big story into the weekend.
There will be a lingering chance for showers, and some of them could be heavy throughout the next few days. Let's start with meteorologist Dave Caulfield with a look at your first alert forecast. Dave?
Well, Charlotte and Eric, not much activity across southern Wisconsin for much of this Friday, but that changed as we went into the evening hours. Some light showers moved into Madison closer to the 5 and 6 o'clock hours, and now we have some showers and thunderstorms along a front continuing to move into Dane County and spots to the north and east. The heaviest downpours with those thunderstorms right near Dodgeville, just south of Dodgeville in Iowa County. You can see those shades of orange and red. The good news is I don't expect these showers and storms to be severe or really even that strong. However, heavy downpours, maybe some localized urban flooding, not out of the question if these storms going to take their sweet time, which some of them might over the next few hours as they continue to ride right along that front. In Madison, the WISC-TV Skycam, no rain just yet. Actually, a little bit dry in Madison. We've been dealing with that northeasterly breeze all day. That helps to bring that cool and dry air and keep it around. 50 as far as temperatures go in Madison, 47 in Monroe. That is way cooler than we were at this time yesterday across the board. Dew points in the upper 30s in Madison, so still a little dry. Those dew points closer to 50 degrees where we are seeing that rain, and actually a couple of raindrops over the last few minutes in Madison. And the Edgewater Skycam temperature staying in the 40s overnight with a chance of showers and storms. Could have some more strong to severe storms as we get into tomorrow. Take a look at that possibility in your first alert forecast.
Dave, thank you. A new riverfront development will not be coming to the city of Janesville as city leaders had once thought.
Rock County reporter Adam Duxter has been following that story. Joins us with why they now say that is not the plan. Adam?
Well, Eric and Charlotte, a riverfront property along the Rock River was supposed to be the potential home for the Blackhawk Community Credit Union's new headquarters. Now those plans have been pushed aside, but the credit union's leaders still say that people here in town should be excited about the plans to come. The empty space along the Rock River will stay that way, at least for now, after Blackhawk Community Credit Union says the Reflections Plaza plan is off, sort of.
All those exciting plans are happening. They're just happening on another site.
The plan to build on the river was announced nearly 8 months ago, but Stump says lately issues of contaminated soil, flooding potential, and overall timing forced them to look elsewhere.
We also had backup plans, right? So alternate sites identified that if it didn't for some reason work out on the river, that we could move to the alternate sites.
Those backup plans, the Moose Lodge, which will house the new headquarters, and the former Chase Bank downtown, which will be home to the new Legacy Center. The city's economic development coordinator said she had no idea about these potential fallback plans until this week.
And we're going to keep moving forward with our environmental testing and on the former site, and we're going to keep doing what we do best in economic development.
And says now they'll have to find a new tenant to take the site along the Rock River. Stump says despite all of this, she's still encouraged about the plan ahead.
I think you'll be surprised by how many people are excited that we're taking 2 existing sites that would have gone unused or have gone unused for a number of years and really making them into something fantastic.
Stump says despite all of this, the timeline for both of these projects won't be delayed and both buildings can be expected to open in early 2021. But the city of Janesville says right now their biggest thing they're looking to do is to find someone to buy this property along the Rock River.
The Verona Area School District says there will be new safety policies in the upcoming school year.
Now, this is in response to the fights that broke out at the high school there last week, causing a lot of disruptions at the school for 2 days. The superintendent sending out a letter to parents and staff. It says they are hiring 3 full-time security assistants, providing an anonymous tip line for students to report incidents, increasing staff presence in hallways during passing periods, and putting an additional staff member at the high school entrance with a two-way radio system, and also updating policies for people who are suspended.
Don't want divisiveness and us versus them mentality. So we're trying to focus on positive things, recognizing we can certainly do better, right? But also focusing on the things we are doing well and how we can improve them in the future.
Those policies will all be implemented in the upcoming school year. Those fights last week got 18 students suspended with charges pending for 3 students who were arrested.
We are hearing tonight from the district administrator of Mayville Schools after a racial slur was found written in one of the middle school's bathrooms. Scott Sable told News 3 they first learned of the incident yesterday, saying, "We can confirm that no specific student names were written, but given the demographics of the school district, we can understand how some of our students and families may have taken this personally." Police and school administrators are reviewing security camera footage to find out who wrote it. In a letter home to parents, Principal Robert Clark said the school is continuing to create a culture of inclusion where racism and hatred is not tolerated.
New tonight, the man accused of poisoning a dog, leading to it being put down, was sentenced to 180 days in jail today to be served over a 2-year period. Trent Hebel was charged with felony mistreatment of animals and stalking, accused of hiding plastic containers of meat laced with rat poisoning in a fenced-in backyard in Arlington back in 2015. A 4-year-old golden retriever named Gander died after eating that. Its owner says she is happy with the outcome today.
Gander was our kid. He was our kid, and that was completely ripped from us. So dealing with that has been very hard.
So the sentencing here is a little unusual. Hebel will serve 90 days starting next month. He will then serve another 90 days in the year 2021 unless he pays tens of thousands of dollars to the Columbia County Humane Society and the Hope House.
Police have identified the man who opened fire in a downtown Appleton transit center on Wednesday, killing firefighter Mitchell Lundgaard and injuring 2 others, including a police officer. They say he is 47-year-old Reuben Houston of Wausau. He was shot and killed during the incident. J.J. Watt is once again stepping up, donating thousands of dollars to the Lundgaard family. The Houston Texan and former Badger made the $10,000 donation yesterday on a GoFundMe page set up for the family. If you'd like to donate, we have a link on our website, channel3000.com. Governor Evers today has ordered all U.S. and Wisconsin flags to be flown at half staff for firefighter Lundgaard. He was a husband and father of 3, serving the people of the Fox Valley for 14 years. The order is effective beginning immediately and ending at sunset on the day of his funeral.
All right, shifting gears to sports now. Another big night for the Milwaukee Bucks, taking a 2-game lead on the Toronto Raptors, and this was a statement game, a big win. News 3 Sports' Melissa Kim live at Fiserv Forum with an update on this game that has just gone final. Melissa? And we're having just a little bit of problem with our transmission there from Fiserv Forum. Bucks win 125-103. We will have more updates coming up, of course, in sports, so stay with us for that. Breaking news right now, fire crews are still on the scene of a bar fire in the village of Oregon. This is at Ace's Main Tap on Main Street. The Oregon fire chief tells us this is an older building built in the 20s or 30s. Now, this call first came in just before 8 this evening. The fire chief adding he believes a cigarette was thrown into a crack right up against the edge of the building, and that is what sparked the fire. He said it ignited something, not exactly sure what it was, but the entire building was evacuated, not just the bar, but also apartments that are above that bar. We have no reports of any injuries, but they have been working this fire for quite some time. We will bring you any updates at channel3000.com.
We do have an update to a story we first told you about last night. More than 24 hours after an F-16 fighter jet crashed down into a Southern California warehouse, the military finally confirms it had weapons on board. The evacuation zone around the building is still more than half a mile while crews try to remove those weapons. The pilot was able to eject and was not hurt. No one on the ground was hurt either. Missouri's Republican-led House passed sweeping legislation today that would ban abortions at 8 weeks of pregnancy.
And that measure is the latest in a wave across the nation. Still needs the signature of the governor there before it becomes law. CBS News' Tom Hansen has more.
Missouri's governor pledged to sign the bill, which would put strict new limits on abortions across the state.
I think that's showing Missourians' values, and it's a piece of legislation that will be signed in the near future.
The proposed law passed in the House earlier Friday forbids abortions after 8 weeks of pregnancy. That's generally after a heartbeat can be detected, but possibly before a woman learns she's pregnant.
The government is taking control of our bodies. And where does this stop?
We feel like our rights are being stripped away from us.
The bill would make Missouri one of 5 states that have enacted so-called fetal heartbeat bills this year.
To protect the life of the unborn, to preserve and respect the liberty of those babies who have no voice of their own to say that they want to live.
The bill allows exceptions only in medical emergencies, not in cases of rape or incest. Doctors who violate the law could face up to 15 years in prison.
So if a baby is without organs that are appropriate, you are forced to continue to grow that baby inside of you.
To the women of the state and the women up here, I'm sorry. I'm sorry there aren't enough of us in this chamber to stop this.
The legislation could become one of many potential challenges to the Supreme Court's Roe v. Wade ruling, which legalized abortion nationwide in 1973. Tom Hansen, CBS News.
The Missouri section of the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists said it strongly opposes the threat of criminal penalties for delivering what it called evidence-based necessary health care.
Treasury Secretary today rejecting a subpoena from House Democrats demanding President Trump's tax returns. Secretary Steve Mnuchin says the House Ways and Means Committee's request did have legitimate legislative purpose, but the denial is the last step before a federal court fight over the president's financial records. The U.S. may be on the verge of a trade war with China, but the Trump administration today took steps to end another one. The White House lifting those tariffs on steel and aluminum imported from the country's 2 biggest trading partners, Canada and Mexico. Those tariffs, you'll recall, were imposed in March of last year. 25% on steel, 10% on aluminum. The deal calls for the tariffs to be lifted before Monday. Still ahead tonight at 10, more chances for rain this weekend. Dave Caulfield will have our complete forecast.
But first is the season for road construction. We have an update on a few of the big projects around Madison when we come back. Welcome back. Madison police are calling it a new twist on an old crime.
A Madison man says his kayak was stolen and he later found it for sale online. Police say they've seen this before with bicycles, but never with a kayak. Daniel Kreischer keeps his kayak locked up and stored at the city's Tenney Park racks. Tuesday night, he saw it was gone. He searched kayaks on Craigslist. Sure enough, there it was. With the help of police, he was able to get it back, but it turns out the suspected thief had stolen more than one, and Kreischer wants other kayakers to be on alert.
From now on, I'm going to try and be more careful when I lock it up and keep it locked at all times, knowing that people are out there eyeing these things up.
Yeah, Madison police say they found a number of kayaks at the suspect's house and believe he had been stealing them to sell on Craigslist. Police were able to return another kayak to a second victim, but they still have 3, and they're looking for their rightful owners.
The Wisconsin DOT is announcing it is making changes to traffic signal times following excessive wait times on Verona Road. Drivers in the area dealt with extreme waits at intersections along Verona Road in the middle of all of that construction there. A DOT official says these changes will make things go a bit smoother now. The entire project is not going to be completed until the fall of 2020. East Side business owners along Winnebago Street want to remind people they are open during construction. The construction there isn't expected to be completed until the end of August. Business owners say it's been a hassle so far, but they are optimistic about how the street will turn out once the work is complete. Last July, the Madison Common Council approved a design plan that includes bike, parking, and travel lanes in both directions.
Work also scheduled to begin on Monday evening on 2 segments of the Beltline. Work zones will occur between Gammon Road and Whitney Way, also between Seminole Highway all the way to the interstate for resurfacing. Nightly lane closures will happen from 7 at night to 6 in the morning, both directions, and the DOT says you can expect delays. A Sun Prairie developer wants your feedback about what you'd like to see in the downtown redevelopment plans after last summer's explosion in downtown Sun Prairie. The Lakota Group is calling for residents and business owners to share their ideas in an online survey. You can look at pictures of proposals ranging from mixed-use projects that include shops and apartments to smaller-scale condos. If you'd like to participate, go to sunprairiestrongerplan.com.
There's so many outdoor construction projects going on, and it would make it a lot easier if we had some better weather.
Yeah, Mother Nature does not want to see these projects.
Clearly, she's against it.
Yeah, she's not really having it right now because we have another rainy stretch of weather on the way, and it's continuing today. We were quiet for much of the day, but that's before that warm front made it back into southern Wisconsin, which it has over the last couple of hours. And you can see just how expansive this storm system that we're dealing with is. Severe thunderstorm warnings across Nebraska, tornado warnings with some pretty violent tornadoes being observed closer to Kansas. And then for us across southern Wisconsin, we're stuck with the warm front, which means some stronger thunderstorms are affecting spots like Dodgeville and through much of Iowa County, and some light to moderate rain making its way closer to Madison and Dane County. And as these thunderstorms were firing up earlier this evening, they were a little bit stronger. This batch of showers and storms is moving into an environment that's less friendly for storms to continue to develop, which is good news. However, we'll still be dealing with some heavy downpours and also some strikes of lightning, maybe even a gusty wind or 2 over the next few hours, but expect those showers and storms to continue for some of us into the overnight hours. In Madison on the Edgewater Skycam, not seeing any lightning right now on our camera. We're just seeing the Capitol, but a couple of light showers in spots. Today's high of 63 actually occurred at midnight. We were stuck in the 50s for much of the day. Our low 50, still running about 5 to 10 degrees below normal for this time of year with those clouds overhead, and we had that northeasterly breeze throughout the day. That kept us cool and dry for much of the day as well. At 50 right now in Madison, 46 in Janesville, 48 in Watertown, and 51 in Platteville. As that warm front continues to march slowly but surely to the north, temperatures will start to increase tomorrow. Highs will be in the 70s for spots like Madison, but just to the north and east, we could be stuck in the 50s and 60s. We've seen that scenario before this year so far. So tonight, some more isolated thunderstorms possible, some gusty winds. I really think that hail threat is basically 0. But for Saturday and Sunday, hail, high winds, and heavy rain possible with scattered showers and thunderstorms mainly in the afternoon and at night on Saturday. And for Sunday, the afternoon and evening hours, the timing where we're watching for some thunderstorm development. So on future track, we notice this as this front continues to move to the northeast, that precipitation follows, and that will continue to move to the north and east as well. Should be pretty quiet on Saturday morning. However, it depends on how much sunshine we get to see how strong these storms will be in the early afternoon hours as a boundary moves through, and then some more rounds of heavy rain. Some thunderstorms are possible as temperatures get close to 70 degrees. Again, we'll be watching that heavy rain threat as we get through this weekend. It won't be raining all the time necessarily, but we could have multiple rounds of that heavy rain come through on Saturday and on Sunday. It just depends on where those heaviest downpours head up. But our latest future track models have about 1 to 2 inches of rain, isolated spots, closer to 3 inches of rain possible over the next 48 hours or so. So we're watching that very closely. And this is really the last thing that we need after having so much wet weather so far in 2019. Alert days in the forecast for the threat of some strong to severe storms and also some localized flooding over the next couple of days. Monday, we should get a short break from the rain with temperatures in the lower 60s, but plenty more shower and storm chances as we head into next week. We just need to enjoy the dry spots and dry periods while we can get them, because there really aren't going to be that many.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Game 1, that was a battle, but Game 2, a completely different story. A live report from Milwaukee. The Bucks' big Game 2 win over the Raptors coming up in sports.
Bucks had a great regular season, and so far it's been a great postseason. 9-1 in the playoffs, heading into Game 2 against the Toronto Raptors tonight at Fiserv Forum, and they decide the issue very early tonight. Opening minutes, Nikola Mirotic hits the three. The Bucks go ahead 9-0 before the Raptors even knew what hit them. This is how it went all night. Mirotic misses another three badly, but Giannis is there for the Lorenzo Charles-type basket. Pretty much does it. Bucks win Game 2 easily. Final score, Bucks 125, Raptors 103. Giannis had 30 points, 17 rebounds. He's named one of three finalists for the MVP award with James Harden and Paul George. The series heads to Toronto for Game 3 Sunday night at 6 Central Time, and we go live to Milwaukee. Melissa Kim is at Fiserv Forum. Melissa?
Yeah, hi there, Jay. Like you said, this is a completely different game from Game 1 of this series, and it started from the very beginning. Giannis really setting the tone with a dunk and a block to start, but, you know, basketball is a team sport. You can't just depend on one guy all the time, and the Bucks have had their fair share of unlikely heroes in this series. Brook Lopez in Game 1, and how about Ersan İlyasova in Game 2? The Turkish Thunder really owning that first half. He was the only player in double digits at one point. He played really hard on defense, too. 17 points for him tonight. He was second in points on the team behind Giannis. And Malcolm Brogdon just getting better and better with every single game. 14 points in 25 minutes. A total of 54 points for the bench mob. That's what they're calling the Bucks bench now, the bench mob. 54 of the 125 points for the Bucks came from the bench tonight. That's just really incredible. And Jay, a big confidence booster and a big momentum booster here for the Bucks with a 2-zip lead heading into Games 3 and 4.
All right, that's Melissa Kim live from Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee. Thanks for joining us tonight. The Brewers start the final leg of their road trip in Atlanta tonight. The game was going all right for them until the 6th inning. That's when a 3-0 game suddenly turned into a 12-0 game. Tyler Flowers tattooed this one, part of a 9-run inning. That pretty much was that, although the Brewers rallied late. Final score is Braves 12 and Brewers 8. Badger softball begins the NCAA tournament against Notre Dame in Norman, Oklahoma. The Badgers get the first run of the game in the second inning. Caroline Hedgecock drops a hit to center. Watch the slide home by Lauren Foster. That puts Wisconsin up 1-0. And the Badgers play great defense behind starting pitcher Caitlin Menz. Looks like Notre Dame's going to get a run, but Allie Miklish with a strong throw, and it's out at home plate. Taylor Johnson added a 3-run homer in the 7th. Final score, Wisconsin 4, Notre Dame 2. The Badgers play UMBC or top seed Oklahoma tomorrow afternoon at 3. Also in the NCAA tournament, that's former Madison La Follette star Nicole Newman. She's had a fantastic season at Drake. She's one of the best pitchers in the country. Bulldogs against Georgia in Minneapolis. Newman strikes out 9, but Georgia wins it in the bottom of the 8th, 6-4. Newman's record this year is still 28-7 with a 0.92 earned run average. At the PGA Championship, Brooks Koepka showing no signs of cracking. In fact, he's extended his lead to 7 shots after 2 rounds. 63 yesterday, 65 today. Koepka is 12 under par for the tournament as he looks to win the PGA Championship for the 2nd year in a row and get his 4th major championship in the last 2 years. Koepka's 128 total, the lowest score ever after 2 rounds of a major. 2 of the big names missing the cut, Tiger Woods and Steve Stricker. They miss it by 1 shot. Final 2 rounds of the PGA Championship on News 3 Now this weekend, Saturday and Sunday afternoons, and we'll be right back.
Dave's here with a final check.
Showers and storms continue to affect portions of southern Wisconsin. Really not looking at anything too strong or severe, which is good news, but heavy downpours into the overnight hours, some lightning strikes, some more of those downpours setting up across Dane County as we speak. Alert days in the forecast for the threat of some strong to severe storms Saturday and Sunday. Also some localized flooding, not out of the question. We should dry out by the time we get to Monday.
All right, Dave, thank you. And thank you for joining us for News 3 Now at 10.
Do something good and have a great weekend.